the first time, LA Galaxy 2 and Loudoun United FC will square off here at Segra Field with Ricky Lopez, Espen. I'm Michael Watchring. It's great to have you with us for this matchup here this evening. Two teams that are on opposite sides of the spectrum in terms of the playoff chase. Loudoun enters winless in the last 6. A team that has lost 4 in a row is sitting towards the bottom of the league table. Last win for Ryan Martin's crew came 64 days ago. Entering tonight, Los Dos enters just 1 point shy of a playoff position, 31 points overall, but a club looking to gain some form on the road. For Loudoun, the last time out against Monterey Bay FC, it was the depths of the game and the inability to clear this that cost them a point.
And talking to Ryan Martin, he said, look, I think we deserved a tie at least, but when you have this lack of discipline marking inside the 18-yard box at this level, you're going to get punished. You're going to get punished no matter what time in the game it is. Obviously, Kona gets on the end of this. You just see the lack thereof defending inside the 18-yard box, not being touch tight, not taking the initiative to close down, giving too much time and space to their opposition. That's why you see they're going through this tough stretch.
Lost 4 in a row, giving up 13 goals in that stretch, only scored 3 times for LA Galaxy. 2 on the other side. They sit 8th place in the West, and a team with great goal-scoring presence will need that down the stretch.
And as an organization, as a team, as a player, you always want to play deep into the season, and this is the reality for this squad. A team that's going to come on the road against a Loudoun United team, and make no mistake about it, they're not an easy out. So expect Johan Demant's boys to come out motivated on the front foot and asking to get all 3 points.
Cameron Dunbar will be a big piece to that. 7 goals on the season. He's the top goal scorer on the roster at this point, with Preston Judd serving a suspension for LA Galaxy 2 here today. What will give this evening? Can Loudoun get its first win in almost 2 months, or does LA Galaxy 2 come on the road and pick up a valuable 3 points and make the push for the playoffs? We'll answer that question with the starting 11s when we come back to Segra Field in a moment.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Almost time to kick things off as Loudoun United plays host to LA Galaxy 2. Great to have you with us tonight as we take a look at the starting 11 for Loudoun United here this evening. Ryan Martin's bunch will trot out a 3-5-2. What are you looking forward to out of this Loudoun crew here tonight, Ricky?
And you look at the players in the middle, Downs and Garay going to be dictating tempo, moving the ball from left to right. Simons is going to push up a little higher, playing underneath Fletcher and Zane. And then you have Greene and DR on the right-hand and left-hand side, joining the attack late and putting dangerous service into the box in that front line for Ryan Martin's side.
LA Galaxy 2, conversely, I mentioned the suspension of Judd, 2 games for an 11th caution. Harvey is out 2 games for a altercation in the San Antonio matchup, and this will be the look with a 4-4-2 for Los Dos.
And you see Drac and Lamb on the outside backs. Players are going to get into the attack as well. Cabral and Dunbar going to be dictating the line. And look at Campbell, look at Williams to pinch underneath to give that real estate for the outside backs to come across.
So Los Angeles Galaxy 2. 31 points overall in the season. They're 1 behind Las Vegas, who travels to Phoenix tonight in a facility in which they have never won in 5 prior tries. So this might be a good opportunity for Los Dos to make a push in the playoffs as we light the lamp and begin action here at Segra Field with Ricky Lopez-Espin. Michael Watring watching this one with you. Come in and stay a while to watch this matchup. Be very interesting to see how these 2 teams square off. Both sides have given up a lot of goals this year. Loudoun has had more difficulty finding the net. It's a really good run from Diarra right off of the stretch. One of the biggest problems with Loudoun all season long is they might show some goal-scoring pop, but at times they go 10, 15, 20 minutes without taking a shot and being forced into a lot of defensive positions.
And that's what you have from a team that is in a learning process. Ryan Martin having a young squad in terms of age, but they do have the talent. They have the talent to compete head-to-head with the best of the best, as we've seen throughout this USL season so far. I expect them to come out in the first 5-10 minutes. Yes, it's hard in terms of the table, but to make their presence felt, to make the impact felt, get the confidence within the squad, it's going to be really interesting and key for Ryan Martin's side.
5 teenagers in the lineup for Loudoun, 2 in the lineup for Los Dos. And these 2 sides always amongst the younger teams. Samake had to turn around as good pressure pushed forward. Well, speaking with Ryan Martin, his biggest fear is how this team defends set pieces. Thought that in that Monterey Bay match, they handled the run of play fairly well overall. And the question will be is how do they handle those set pieces when those are given? And with this young side out there, it is a team that doesn't necessarily always spend a lot of time in training working on that. No pressure here from Loudoun.
Higher, Greene, higher, Greene, higher, Greene.
Long ball forward for Williams instead. Vom Stieg will play it back for Zamudio.
It's going to be really interesting to see how Los Dos deal with this press from Loudoun United, especially in their defensive half. They have to be extremely clean in the way they break through passes, pass essentially around the corner. And if you go route 1, you need to have that support system underneath your striker as well.
With no Preston Judd available for this match, he's a very, very good talent. And you wonder how that plays into what LA2 is trying to get accomplished. Without a player that has scored 12 times this year and 29 times in the last 2 years. Liam Doyle, the senior statesman, 29, right in the middle of the park as you take a look at Johan Dame, his first season as an assistant with the United States' U20 group. Prior to this, good experience with developing some of the best talent in the country.
He's kind of hidden right now.
Here you go, see that outside back Drac coming into that final third. You're going to see a lot of this from Los Dos, just the way that they attack, the quality that they have at the outside back position with Drac and Lamb on the respective sides. Just gives Johan Damaze another attacker, just a different look. Put balls into dangerous areas through combination play.
I got Loudoun, coach.
There is Ryan Martin, and time to take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by Country Buick. Both sides defensive-minded has to be the big key for these two sides here tonight, Ricky. LA2's given up 25 goals on the road this season, and Loudoun has had its fair share of struggles keeping the ball out of the net.
When you say keep your structure defensively, that means in set pieces as well. Last time out, Loudoun, we saw in the open, giving a goal in the latter part of that second half to Monterey Bay. And for Los Dos, yes, this Loudoun United team is a bit lower in the Eastern Conference, but they, make no mistake about it, they have attacking weapons, they have talent. And once they get confidence, once they get in the rhythm, they're never an easy out. So expect them to be really sound defensively in their positioning, to have a lot of communication and clean things up in the back.
Well, there have been moments this season where Loudoun has looked dangerous as this ball goes out for a goal kick. Last time they won was on this field. They put up 4 goals, taking down a Phoenix Rising team that has since gotten hot and starting to find a little bit of a rhythm and make their push for the playoffs in the West. And that is going to be something to keep an eye on down the stretch, is the Western Conference playoff push. There are a lot of teams that are still trying to make that last argument for one of those spots. Of course, the top few are solidified. And with how San Antonio has played, you don't want to be one of the teams at the bottom that eventually has to run into them early in the playoffs. Jacob Greene latches onto it. Zane. Crossfield pass gets cleared. Here's Jack once more, making that push forward, and we do get a stoppage behind the play. Zane holding the back of his head, and the officials will always make the stoppage there. Alex Beeler is our official tonight.
Just tries to make a play on this ball. Zane just coming in, just gets the wrong side of Cabral. You can just see the contact, obviously, the follow through, that shoulder, the right shoulder of the Los Dos player, catches him. Those are never fun when you get blindsided like that. Hopefully he's okay to keep on going. This is a big part of what Loudoun United is trying to do. 2 goals, 1 assist on the year. Such a bright spot, such a high ceiling for the youngster.
Just 19 years of age, out of the Ivory Coast. This is one of those matches that you don't get very often overall in the championship, and that is 2 teams that are very developmental minded, trying to develop that young talent that eventually leads to a bigger contract, in these 2 teams' cases, for the first team in the MLS, and then potentially into Europe and other big premier leagues around the world.
It's just also test mentally, just see how you approach this game. See Los Dos away, still have the playoffs in sight. Loudoun's a bit difficult, but that mental side of the game, just to see how, yes, you might be young, yes, you're in a developmental quote-unquote side. How do you approach this game? When you cross over those white lines, it means business. You want to win every single game, and it's a big test for these guys to really show to their organization what they're all about.
Zane back on the pitch. I think anybody at any level, any sport will tell you, as important as it is sometimes to develop the key skills needed to be a good player, perhaps more important is figuring out ways to win. And that goes back to that Monterey Bay match for Loudoun in that last contest. Maybe you don't come away with 3 points in a game like that, but in the waning moments, you find a way to clear that ball and at least walk away 0-0 and secure that point, because those can be valuable throughout the season.
And it's a result-driven business, is it not? I'll tell you what, Ryan Martin, next time this team is tied or up late in a match, they're going to deal with that situation far more differently. And that's when you see the most growth. Yes, it hurts at the moment, but it's a learning curve. It's a learning opportunity for these boys to understand, okay, we're up 1-0 or we're tied 0-0. in the 94th minute. How do we deal with this? Someone needs to put their body on the line, take this ball out at all costs, just to see that next step. And that's such a good opportunity for Ryan Martin just to see the growth of his team.
This is better possession from Loudoun, a team that scored just 21 times this year. Second fewest in the championship, only Red Bulls 2 with a dozen. With fewer, but the goal scoring has been there of late, 10 in the last 7. And this is what they've been able to do at times. Good build through the middle. Ricocheting shot, goes to the seats, but a corner kick coming up for the home side after Simonson takes aim from well outside of the box.
And we've seen Simonson play at that top line, but now he drops back a little bit underneath, and it gives just this Loudoun side just a different look. Good interchange on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, excuse me. Simonson doesn't need a second invitation to pull the trigger, just steps up, just puts it over the bar through a deflection. So good movement from Ryan Martin's side.
It's our first corner of the match. Pings towards the dot, Downs waits. Let's see what Loudoun was trying to do instead. All the way to the sideline. Greene, Jacob Greene. Good pressure here from Loudoun. Greene once more. Zane circles. And then just given away. Pressure overall by Loudoun, but doesn't result in a shot attempt.
When you have a player like Gray that sits in the middle of the park, such good at setting the tempo, dictating play, breaking lines through his passing. The big part of the future for this DC United organization is a chance here.
Simonson. Downs once more. Galaxy doing a good job congesting the box. Samake. Fletcher the target, now Greene. Jacob Greene nearly found the top corner. It was a delightful strike on the right boot.
And it's really good patience here from Nicky Downs just to roll this ball into the path of Samake, to give him the ability to hit it first time. If he takes the second touch, that window's closed. Ball just pops out to his back post. Jacob Greene, he has the technique in his locker. Off that second bounce, nearly sneaks into that near post. Brilliant opportunity, good start from Loudoun United 12 minutes into this match.
This is what they've done really well. Intercept passes. Simonson, he had his eyes set on the opposite pocket. 2 close shot attempts for Loudoun. Nothing so far, but applause here by the fans.
Again, I just talked about Los Dos and their ability to break out of this initial press. Loudoun is extremely good, like you said, Michael, to turn their defense into offense. Good pick out from Garay. Simonson, again, just pulls the trigger, just pulls it far too wide. And if you're Johan DeMay, you're looking at the players in the middle of the field, whether it's Davila, Campbell, to drop down, just give you a different angle to break that press. Or if you go route 1 into the feet of Williams, you need Dunbar to come underneath to win those second balls.
It's a Galaxy 2 side that has given up 25 goals on the road this year. Only Monterey Bay in the West, having conceded 26 times, has given up more away from home. LA2's been excellent on the home pitch all season, but just 3 wins in 13 tries when traveling. Expect clever play, expect ingenuity between these two sides when they clash. It's the first time that they've met. Last time LA2 visited an Eastern Conference side, they won 3-1 at Miami. Zane nearly takes it away. Neal patient enough to grab it. It has been a while since LA2 made a push, but here's Drac. Rolls it back with space, Gonzalez. Looking for a redirect, instead gets pushed wide.
And as Loudoun is committing a lot of numbers forward, they have to be extremely careful not to leave themselves vulnerable. Just see how explosive and how direct Los Dos is and how quickly they can hurt him. If you're the players in the middle of the field for Ryan Martin's side, you have to have that balance and not get caught up way too high.
Loudoun will build from the back. They've had much of the possession here of late. A couple shots have missed the bars. Garay will fly it through the middle of the field. Now Zamudio getting his real first action on a consistent basis in net. Diarra with a good turn. He's looking for Greene, instead intercepted. And a foul is whistled. Simonson the guilty party. But the pressure continues here from Loudoun.
Once a player, if you're Johan DeMay, you want to get on the ball a bit more. Gonzalez, such good technique, standard, sits in the middle of the park and really break lines with his passing combination play. Extremely quiet. It's been a pedestrian start to this match for the visitors. Really surprisingly, just to how much confidence they have after their last result, 1-1 tie against San Antonio.
Flag up here for offside. We're in the 17th minute, 0-0. LA Galaxy 2 and Loudoun. Michael Watring with Ricky Lopez Espin. And you mentioned that San Antonio matchup. That was a tough one to swallow, too. You get a late goal in that matchup, and then you concede in stoppage time instead of taking 3 points away from the top team in the West. They settle for just one. Dante Campbell called for the foul.
He's been a bright spot here. Diarra on that left-hand side, good little turn with the inside of his foot, gets the body position of Campbell, and he's always going to go down. He's been really good in his spacing. Moments ago, he just picked up that ball right between lines, really unlocked and Loudoun going back the other way. Those are the type of players, the ability that's maybe very underrated, just having the right body control, body positioning when you receive a ball, so you don't have to take 2-3 touches to get your body turned.
Here's a good ball forward. Williams tried to go through. I thought he had a chance to take that by himself. Instead, elected to pass.
Yeah, makes a wrong decision there. Williams has the ability to take 1 or 2 more touches to go on goal, and that's when you make the decision. Do I go across? Do I have a try on goal? You need a bit more composure and quality in that final third. And if you're Loudoun United, if you're trying to get this off-dive trap, you have to be extremely clever, on the same page. You don't want to have it go wrong, but fortunate enough, it doesn't result in an opportunity on goal.
Cabral gets fouled, and a free kick set up here for LA Galaxy 2.
There's a direct pass into the back of Gray. Good pick out here from Cabral, just picks off in his pocket. Again, if you're Nicky Downs, do you really want to put your midfield partner in a position like that under pressure inside your 18, in your defensive half, excuse me? An opportunity here for Los Dos just to put this ball into a dangerous area, cause a bit of chaos in front of Zamudio.
Well, this is what we spoke with Ryan Martin about throughout the week. Restart goals that his team has allowed this season in the first test coming. Back post ball, and it goes out wide off of a Loudoun head for a corner kick. How Luis Zamudio, the 23-year-old from Las Vegas, handles this situation. Here comes this swinging ball, back post. Zamudio steps up to play it. Ryan Martin wanted a little more command out of this youngster that began his career with Club America behind Memo Ochoa and Oscar Jimenez. Let's to see if Zamudio can take that ownership of this role. Williams. That's a fine bit of defending by the captain, Jalen Robinson. There's a streaker open to his right-hand side.
It's a last-ditch defending effort. But again, it's just Williams, on the other hand, making the wrong decision. His timing was a bit off. The 2v1, if you take Williams or you take Robinson down to your right-hand side, you really force the hand of the defender. Do I go with you? Do I stay with the runner? You dribble right at him. It makes life extremely easy. Really good positioning from Robinson to deny another opportunity for LA Galaxy.
Cabral once again gets fouled, the 22-year-old from Paris. Williams working through several defenders. There's a lot of white jerseys back. Galaxy looking for a penetration moment. Nearly an interception off of a lazy pass. Does go wide. Galaxy still looking for their first shot of the match. 3 shots to none in favor of Loudoun at this point. It's a good build. Drac goes down in the box. And instead they rule a foul outside of the box before that. That'll set up the Galaxy. Diarra shaking his head that he didn't do anything, but it did get the whistle outside on this play.
It's a good ball in that breaks lines. You can just see that left leg catches a foot of the Los Dos player. Really good refereeing to play that advantage and see it play out. And pulls it back to where the initial press was from Diarra.
Josh Drac will be the one over the top of it. Chandler, Arizona native, will be joined now by Cabral. A pair of 22-year-olds. Will be the right foot of Cabral or the left foot of Drac. It is Drac hitting the wall and going over the top of the bar.
Well, we've seen him pull up from that distance. We've seen him score goals throughout his career from set pieces. Really good left foot, trying to get it up and over that wall. We give credit to Loudoun United and their defensive stance. The wall doing what it needs to do.
Second corner of the night now for the Galaxy. This is very low. It doesn't reach a teammate. Cabral comes out to it. He goes down. Where is this foul whistle? Right on the chalk.
And if you're Samaka, you have to be extremely sure when you lean into a tackle here. It is a foul as he comes in across Cabral. But right on top of that 18-yard box, you want to move your feet. You don't want to lunge. When you lunge, and if you're not sure, you get situations like this. Lucky enough for him, it's not 2 or 3 yards a bit deeper. Then you're looking at a penalty situation. Another opportunity here for Drac or Cabral to fancy themselves and ask questions of Zamudio and really test this wall once again from Loudoun United.
So once again, Drac will be over the top of it. Both of his goals this season have come off of free kicks. And once again, cannot evade the Loudoun wall.
And you can see just the smile, the little cheeky smile there from Drac. Knows he can do better and he should do better from that distance.
Each side has taken a shift with heavy possession. It's now Los Dos' turn. A couple set pieces defended well by Loudoun. Here's a ball into the box, and Zamudio easily picks it up, and he wants to run. All he has is Fletcher down the field, and Fletcher will pick it up. 1v4, Fletcher. It's a well-timed tackle by Doyle, the veteran. Keeps it off of the feet of the 16-year-old.
But you love to see this one from Zamudio, realizing, understanding that there is a lot of real estate to my front man. Let's just go quick and see what he can do. And Fletcher does well to fend off one, get around another one.
Flag up here for offside with Williams making the race.
I just saw moments ago, Samake not sure when he leaves his feet and he lunges in. This is textbook defending. You can just see how Doyle moves across the crossover step and then is 100% sure, gets the ball right there before Fletcher. Textbook defending from the veteran from Los Dos. But give credit to the youngster. The bravery, the courageousness to go on himself, pick up his head, not wait for his teammates to come on and say, hey, it's 4 players against me. I fancy myself. Let me try this.
Space here for Los Dos. Draws Williams wide. Second time he's been in that location. Second time he's looked to pass. He's 0 for 2 on completing those passes, and it leads to a Loudoun run out. Well-weighted pass wide for Zane.
You see the lack of sharpness for both sides in and around that 18-yard box. One side, it's Williams trying to cut this ball back to Cabral. Gets cut out, and then the other one, Giara just trying to whip this ball in right in front of that back line of Los Dos to an oncoming Jacob Greene. Just underhits it. You love to see the ideas, just execution has been lacking for both of these sides so far.
Certainly the thoughts have been there between these sides. And it has been a fairly open game, and once again, looked like blue jerseys were forward. Interception though, Zane. What does he do here? Simonson lifts it back for downs. Well, we've only had 5 shots overall between the two sides, but it's been a fairly entertaining back and forth game. It just might come down to who gets more opportunities inside of the box and is able to take that last touch and moment of brilliance. So far, no score here in the 28th minute.
And as this game is opening up for both teams, you're looking at the players in the middle of the field to slow it down, get the possession, string a couple passes together, get the rhythm within the squad. Both of these teams are best when they're confident in the way that they play, breaking through lines, combination play, whatever they do. But as you open up this game, it's really big challenge for both of these defensive units. Talking about Los Dos conceding 44 goals on the year, Loudoun 45. So not the strong points for both of these sides.
Loudoun had given up multiple goals in 7 straight prior to that 1-0 loss to Monterey Bay. 2/3 of the matches this year, they've given up multiple goals.
And it goes back to that point like we were talking about, Michael, just saying, look, these guys are development players, players for the future. And it's a part of learning as well, how to shut down oppositions. It is a cliche saying, but championships are won defensively. So when we're able to lock that down, the talent is able to express themselves in the attacking third, score goals, combination plays. So as you get more experience in this USL Championship, as you start getting more professional minutes, experiencing different situations, that's when you're going to start to see the consistency in that back line and defensive units for their respective sides.
It's a big part of the reason why Ryan Martin has been able to produce so many players that have reached the first team of DC United. Well, here's a nice run. Simonson breaking away. He's had some really perfect passes. Can Loudoun complete this overall spurt? Downs reset now as LA2 gets back. Jacob Greene, he took a shot from here earlier in the match. He just missed the bar the first time. This one doesn't get all the way through. We hit the half-hour mark here at Segra Field on the offside. Joined by Ricky Lopez-Espin, Michael Watrang, and our entire crew. Glad that you're spending some of your Saturday with us. If you're on the East Coast, getting ready for your late night plans. If you're on the West Coast, perhaps getting ready for your dinner, come in, stay a while with us, and watch this matchup. 0-0 between Loudoun and LA Galaxy 2 so far. Brawl's pass gets intercepted. Pretty good passing in tight spaces. Loudoun hasn't been able to get out of its own area, however.
Mom! Mom!
And here's another foul given by Loudoun, and this time it's going to result in more than just the foul. Jacob Greene is going to pick up the yellow.
And it's really good, intricate passing from Loudoun United in this corner. The inability to break it and have that initial presser and a focal point to play off of results in the coming back the other way, as Greene really clips Davila on this end in this attacking half for Los Dos. There's no ill will there, but it is a foul. It is a really tricky situation for Jacob Greene. Whenever there's a player coming in and there's a head injury, always force the hand of the referee.
Good to see Davila get to his feet. Sides will take advantage of it and get some water as well. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at selectsportamerica.com. Select, league's choice, player's choice. Josh Drack has had an imprint on this match, a couple free kicks that he's already taken that have hit walls. This time appears to be setting up for a passing opportunity.
It's a perfect angle, aiming for right between that 6-yard box and penalty mark. So whip this right around that right shoulder of the wall.
Drack, very low. Jacob Greene won the first ball. Campbell watches it out for a throw. This ball swung in. Zamudio will pull it out of the sky. Well, Ricky, about 34 minutes into this match. How would you analyze what we've seen between two very young sides that are currently deadlocked at 0?
Well, you look at the silo plays. I think Loudoun has had the better of the possession. We see about 5-10 minutes ago, connecting passes right on top of the 18 of Los Dos, but unable to find that finishing touch, whether it's a run off the ball, a killer pass, someone taking their opportunity. To be fair, I think Los Dos have been a bit more dangerous in their attacking efforts, really asking questions of Loudoun in that back line, whether it's stretching it, whether it's forcing the hands of the defenders. You see, there's been a lot of dangerous set piece opportunities. We've been really good at changing the point of attack. Drac has gotten involved a lot. You want to see more of Cameron Dunbar, the player that we highlighted in the Open. 7 goals on the year, but we haven't seen his name much. So if you get him going, some big opportunity for Johan Demey walking into halftime.
Certainly both teams would like to get a late first half goal. What happened though, a lot of the play has been on the outside of the 18-yard box. Out of the 6 shots that we've had, only 1 has been inside of the box, and we've had a total of 9 touches inside of the opposition's 18. And 2 teams that have been maligned defensively are showing well through 35 minutes.
And that's the other part of that question of the answer. Like you asked me, Michael, defensive units for both of these teams have been extremely steady. You can just see how compact Loudoun is at this moment in time. Not giving Los Dos any passing lanes. People pressing out of their lines to come join the attack, not giving time and space. That we saw in the Open, that Loudoun was giving so much time to their opposition to be able to pick up their head, whether it's the dribble combination inside that 18-yard box. Just see the tactical change from Ryan Martin so far in this first half, and so far so good.
Just wonder which team is going to perhaps get a little impatient and get exposed off of a counter. Galaxy pushing numbers forward as this ball's floated out for a goal kick.
Attention please, if you are part of the youth soccer parade, please head to the corner of the field.
Around the league right now, it is Pittsburgh on top of Indy 11.
Again, section 107.
In that contest, 1-0. A goal from Russell Cicerone in the 13th minute. Tampa and Detroit in a good matchup. 35th minute there, no score currently. Louisville and Charleston just getting underway. As Lou City looks to take care of business at home. Cabral. He's had a few touches. This time can't maintain possession. Diarra. So much room in the middle of the field, and look at all the space forward there for Garay. Instead it'll be Fletcher. There is Fletcher again. Loses 2 defenders, but good tracking back defense by Davila.
Like you mentioned, when Loudoun United breaks through that first line of pressure from Los Dos, there is a lot of real estate in the middle of the field. But what you do with that real estate is the next question. Been very methodical in the way that Loudoun has pressed and gotten to the attacking half. You can see there, Simonson, a little combination between him and Fletcher, but then there's not a secondary movement. It's just Fletcher taking on 3 players by himself, results in a turnover. You really have that focal point to play off of, run off of Loudoun United. When you break that press from Los Dos, don't be scared to put it in behind. Stretch that back line to open up more space for players like Downs, for Garay, Diarra, Greene to get into those pockets and operate. When you're in that final third, that's when things obviously a lot more tighter. You have to think a lot quicker and be more clean. And you have the talent Loudoun United, but it's just that mental, that block that you need to take that next gear and press the envelope.
Have not witnessed a shot on target so far in this match. 4 shots to 2, the lead right now for Loudoun. Handball on downs. Unfortunate, really. Doyle's pass, headed out. Roughly 6 more minutes to play here in the first half. One of these two sides break through. Simonson draws the foul.
It's a bit of skill here from Simonson. Just see, takes this Los Dos player for a little dance, and then as Gonzalez comes across, there's his hands. I think he gets away with one, to be fair. Simonson makes the most of it. It's been a bright spot, so comfortable on the ball we've seen. To have the ability to break through pressing, but also with the ball at your foot. Such a good opportunity. That's what Simonson has in his locker.
Here's an offside whistle. Now Doyle and Fletcher exchange words. Doyle wearing the captain's armband, nearly twice as old as Fletcher. Slight edge in possession for LA2. I think for all intents and purposes, with the goal-scoring prowess of Los Dos, Ryan Martin has to be fairly content with how his team has defended in this first half. Foul whistled, and a free kick coming. PR called for it. Another foul whistle. This time Zane. Dunbar down. One of the few touches that he's had in this opening 45 minutes. He's been very quiet. And with 7 goals on the season, need him to pick up his opportunities and hope that his teammates can find him more frequently, perhaps in the second half.
You know, with no Preston Judd in the lineup due to suspension, you want him to step up. So clever in the way that he moves. The spaces that he picks off is playing out to that right-hand side. So it's very easy to get isolated 1v1 and really drift in and out of that game. But you want him to come inside and find the ball. A player that is a game changer for Johan Deme. 43 minutes into this game, like you just mentioned, Michael, we haven't said much of his name. We have a chance of walking out of here with 3 points. And he's going to have a big say in that. It's a massive game for Los Dos and playoff implications, trying to move up that Western Conference table.
I think it's always tough, too, when you go into a match thinking that, based on record, this should be 3 points. And when you're putting together that math throughout the season, this is one that you certainly feel like you have to have. Downs. Diarra hits a defender. Fletcher hits the same defender. And Campbell in the box, and it goes out for a throw. A couple decent opportunities coming there. First from Diarra.
And as he shifts in from the left-hand side to the central part. You can see where that ball is headed. That was a good big ask for Lopez to get on the end of that, but give credit to Los Dos and their defensive positioning to stay up big, not let anything go through. Those are the spots that you want DR to get on the ball. If you're Ryan Martin, right on top of that 18-yard box, his movement, yes, he starts off on that left-hand side, right-hand side. He has the ability to come in centrally and looks to go for goal, not have that combination play. Once you get into those positions, what do you do? How smart are you? How clean are you to pull players out of position with running? Just be a bit more movement on top of that 18-yard box, create space for your teammates.
Neither keeper has been required to make a save so far in the first half. Fletcher goes down and a foul whistled. 2 minutes of stoppage time here at Segra Field. And a set piece opportunity coming here for the home side.
2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. 2 minutes.
And it's a good press, forcing a turnover by numbers from Loudoun United. And what's really important is that first passes forward to break a line. Good understanding from Fletcher to play the body of Davila, get the better body position, and when he feels any contact, he's going to go down. It's a good opportunity here for Loudoun to steal one right before halftime.
Garay and Zane near it. And it will be Garay passing. Nobody over in that direction other than a trio of blue jerseys. Loudoun will reset. 1 minute to go here on that minimum 2 minutes. Loudoun hoping that they're the last team to touch the ball here in the first half. Can it be a goal-scoring moment for a team with the second fewest goals in the league this year? And a rare touch for Eric Lopez, the 23-year-old keeper. Cabral spins. Drac flies it. Dunbar back through the cage. Williams just not on the same page. Here's a long distance chance from Lamb. And that'll be the first half whistle right there. So we play 45 minutes of play, neither side with a shot on target in the first half. Good defensive work from both sides. Each side will need to find a goal in the second half to come away with 3 points. Ricky, what do you see out of the opening 45 minutes of action here?
It's been a lot of action, but a lot of action in the middle of the field. It's been good for both teams to get to that final third, but it's been breaking down once you're in that final third. You need someone to take the initiative to create a bit of magic, whether it's a 1v1, a combination play, and test the goalkeepers, test the back line. It's been far too easy for both defensive units, but give credit to the formation, all to play for the next 45 minutes.
Well, the first meeting between LA Galaxy 2 and Loudoun, 45 minutes in the books. No score thus far. What happens in half number 2? Stick with us. Our halftime report is coming up for you here in just a moment.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
For the 15th time in 22 matches, Loudoun fails to score in the first half, but 0-0. Good defensive work by Loudoun against LA Galaxy 2. Maryland native Jacob Greene was signed as a DC United homegrown player in 2020. The 19-year-old outside back has started all 20 matches he has appeared in, accumulating nearly 1,800 minutes. Greene leads the club in duels won with 83 and is fourth in teams tackles with 28, and one of the 5 teenagers in the starting 11 for tonight's match for Loudoun United here in tonight's contest. As we take a look at the team of the week overall from this past week, 3 Phoenix Rising players and a couple Birmingham Legion players led by Lapa, the midfielder, leading the way for that group. Milan Olowski with more goal-scoring prowess, but that was in a loss to San Diego. Well, there's a lot of hype going on around the USL Championship as Sacramento Republic took advantage of a semifinal matchup and are now in the US Open Cup final.
It's Keko. It's a great chance and parried away by Poolskamp. Weaving his way through, putting it on frame, and Villieto had to parry it over the bar. The Jamaican Malik Foster. The Panenka, absolutely disgusting. Hoisted this trophy plenty of times. Saved by Viniello. Rodrigo Lopez. It's improbable. It's indomitable. It's another cup set.
Here at Segra Field, 0-0 is your score. Stick with us. More to come here from Leesburg, Virginia, between Loudoun United and LA Galaxy 2. More here in a moment.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Loudoun United and LA Galaxy 2 combined for 9 shots. None of those were on frame in the opening half. As we take a look at the USL Championship News and notes from the past week. Tampa Bay continues its hot run of play, unbeaten in the last 12, currently scoreless with Detroit at halftime. Mark your calendars, Wednesday, September 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern. That is 5 Pacific on ESPN+. It'll be Sacramento Republic and Orlando City. 5 candidates up for the July award for the eFootball Player of the Month. And here's the USL schedule. Tonight, we got a good one. Ricky, Phoenix, and Las Vegas Lights FC. See if Phoenix can keep that good momentum rolling coming off of a nice 4-0 win in the last matchup.
And that's going to be an interesting one. Then you look up one up, Orange County, Colorado Springs. Orange County in dire need of result. Obviously, not getting all 3 points against San Diego Loyal. What's the response like for Richard Chappell and his boys in Sacramento? Host RGV, and Monterey Bay welcoming El Paso. That's going to be an interesting one as well.
It'll be a busy night coming up after this match as we take a look at the upcoming schedule. 3 of the next 4 on the road for Loudoun, in the West Coast swing doesn't get any easier. A trip to San Antonio, 9 o'clock Eastern time. That's 8 Central for that contest. Los Angeles Galaxy 2 will have this coming up over their next stretch. For the next 5 at home, perhaps some chances to take advantage. 2 of those 4 are against Eastern Conference teams in a road trip to Monterey Bay, sandwiched in there as well. We're about moments away from starting the second half of play. It is 0-0 at the break. Second half action coming your way in a moment. We'll recap the first half as well when we come back here to Segra Field.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Moments away from starting the second half of action here at Segra Field, and the first meeting ever between Loudoun and LA Galaxy 2 as we rewind the first half highlights between these two sides here this evening. Loudoun had the majority of the opportunities, and one of the players that's made a solid impact overall is Gage Simonson, and he had one of the many opportunities that Loudoun had outside of the box, not inside of the box in the first half.
And it just gives Ryan Martin's side just a different look to play underneath the strikers, to have the advance to pick out the pockets where he wants, pull the trigger when he wants. Is an opportunity here, probably a lot closer than most people think from Jacob Greene. Just sails that right over underneath that crossbar. It's a brilliant look here. Takes a lot of technique to keep that underneath that crossbar, almost testing Lopez there.
Moments after that, once again, it was Simonson, and the defensive work by Loudoun has led to several turnovers, and this shot attempt always going to curl wide, but at least forced Eric Lopez to dive to his right-hand side. And right after that, towards the end of the first half, couple good opportunities for Loudoun, but great defensive work by Dante Campbell. Diarra starts it with a fine run through the middle. Fletcher gets the second crack at it, but Campbell does well to keep his hands at a normal position and not draw a penalty, blocking 2 shots.
And that's kind of been the story of that first half for Loudoun United. Doing extremely good to get to that final third, but it's asking for someone to produce a bit of magic, to take the initiative, to put the team on the back and open up the scoring, because there is a goal to be had in this match. And so far, Loudoun United has been knocking at that doorstep, but it's been all shots from distance, as you see here.
The majority of the action has come outside of the box. Both teams trying to find a way to penetrate the 18s in the second half. This has been a tale that has been all too familiar for the home side in Loudoun, a group that has now failed to score in the first half in 15 of the 22 matches this year. Only New York Red Bulls 17 times is more in the championship. Does a new half provide a new spark for these two sides? Or will we see this one out all the way 0-0? If you're Loudoun, you think back to your last matchup against Monterey Bay. Throughout regulation time, no goals allowed, but in the 3rd minute of stoppage time in the second half, you gave up that game winner to Monterey Bay. What happens with this group in the second half? Stick with us to find out with Ricky Lopez-Espin, Michael Watchring, watching this one with you here this evening. Well, if you were both coaches at the half, I think you have to be extremely excited with how your defense is played. It's not often that you can go an entire half in this league and really not prevent anything to happen inside of your box, but there has to be some criticism for both sides on the inability to get inside of the box and create goal-scoring chances. No shots on target combined between these two teams in the first half.
And yes, there is a lot of firepower. There's a lot of talent on display, but it just takes that little bit maybe of courage to fancy yourself and pull the trigger. We saw a lot of Loudoun United taking shots from distance, so maybe there is maybe a secret pass to break that deadlock of Los Dos and the defensive unit. And if you're Los Dos, you've been caught maybe a couple times, too many for Johan de Mate's liking, just trying to play out of the back. You have to have the balance to not overplay at times. You need to get this man as well involved into dangerous areas. Who's been extremely quiet in that first half, and at the moment, no Preston Judd is going to be your playmaker. Loudoun United, what is Garay, what is Nicky Downs, and this man right here, Simonson, have to say in the middle of the field to dictate tempo? Brilliant ball.
Oh, it's perfect to Diarra. He does have to go out wide, but is able to pick out some space. Now Simonson. Downs. Zane. Well, his pass probably had the right mind, but he was working through that middle of the spot, and Dunbar called for the handball, gives the possession back to Loudoun. Yeah, key to highlight, no Preston Judd. 12 goals on the season, one of the top goal scorers in the league. Serving a 2-game suspension, picked up his 11th caution of the year in last week's matchup with San Antonio. Fletcher. Greene thinking about it. Downs. Downs takes an attempt, and that one's always wide. That's been the story of the night. It looks good, but once you get towards the chalk of the 18-yard box, neither side has been able to find that dribbling possession to get in.
And as Los Dos really collapses and puts a lot of numbers on top of that 18-yard box, it's going to be extremely hard for Loudoun United to play through them. So why not go around them? You have Jacob Greene. You have Diarra on the other side. Maybe you rotate the ball, which is going to do for Los Dos, shift players open. That will open gaps up, and then you whip the ball into a dangerous situation. You see what happens, but you need to find different ways to test Lopez, who's been quiet, not having a lot of action in that first half at all.
The reigning title holders visit in-state rivals as the USL on ESPN2 continues. Orange County SC looks for a late season surge against Sacramento Republic FC Sunday, September 18th at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. certainly when you look around the rest of the league, this is the time of the year where we're going to learn a lot about some of these teams, and particularly the reigning champions in Orange County, Phoenix as well. Clubs that at the beginning of the year you would have penciled in to a playoff position, and now they find themselves on the outside looking in with right around 10 to 12 games to go.
It's a massive game for Los Dos as well. Like we kept mentioning, right around that playoff mark. Good opportunity, come on the road, keep climbing up that Western Conference table. So if you're Johan Deme, you're messaging the boys at the break to really up the tempo, play at a higher gear. When there's that clean passing, ball circulation, you have to play a bit of maybe desperation and intent here in the second half.
Well, here's the thing that any team in the Western Conference has to think about. More on that in a moment as Campbell goes out wide. There is space here, but the defense strong. Gonzalez was making his push into the box. Couldn't unfurl a shot attempt. Dunbar. That's good defending as well. Simonson galloping through the midfield. Too heavy on that last touch, but as I was saying, right now you look at it, New Mexico is in 4th in the West. They have 38 points. If you go down to Phoenix Rising in 10th, they have 28 points. And there is that conjunction of those teams throughout that middle of those two depths that have a lot to think about. Look at Galaxy right now with 32 points. They're 4 points shy of moving into 5th in the league, and also 4 points shy of moving down to 10th in the league. Once again, Gonzalez will get a chance outside of the box. Strack looking for Williams, and now we'll slow it down and reset. Zane joining the party on this side, and that's where the pass ends up. Zane stumbles, can't maintain possession, comes up limping as well. Dante Campbell in the midfield from Canada has put in a good shift on both sides, defensively and in the attack.
Those are situations, if you're Loudoun United, you need to be extremely explosive on. You force a turnover in your defensive half. And this LA Galaxy team, they like to commit a lot of numbers forward. You can see there, 4 players ahead of the ball. So if you have a force of turnover, you leave themselves very vulnerable. That hits the crossbar. Very vulnerable going back the other way. So that first pass needs to be forward. That needs to be a lot of runs joining the attack, a lot of numbers again. And in transition moments, that's the way you're going to catch Los Dos in transition moments. This ball rather awkwardly comes off. Greene just hits the crossbar of Zamudio. I think he has it covered. If not, and again, it's an opportunity for Los Dos to whip this ball in right in front of the goalkeeper for Loudoun United.
This corner kick looking for Doyle on the back post, and it's well defended by a pair of Loudoun players. Simonson was marking the big 6'4" central back. Foul gets whistled. Well, these are two contrasting teams in terms of goal scoring prowess. Loudoun enters with the second fewest in the league at 21, while Los Dos enter with the 5th most in the championship with 39. They've scored multiple goals in 6 of the last 8, averaging better than 2 goals per match in that stretch, but it hasn't happened so far. Our numbers around the box this time, and yet again defending outweighs the attack, and Jacob Greene takes it off of the feet of Gonzalez.
If you're Gonzalez there, you just need to whip this ball in. You have 3 players crashing the box, making a near post, middle run, and far post. Those are the opportunities that you need to take your chance on, express yourself. Good things happen when you whip balls into dangerous areas. We give credit to Jacob Greene. The recovery run to not leave his feet and deny a cross in.
Samake the target. Flag up for offside. I think you bring up a good point, and I think that perhaps at times in this match teams have been maybe a little too conservative. And one of the reasons why Los Angeles Galaxy 2 has been conservative is they're without the services of 12 goals of Preston Judd, and he's been magical all season long for this team. 12 more goals this year after 17 last season. And he can do it all, but serving a 2-game suspension right now.
And yes, he scores goals. Yes, he gives assists. Yes, he is a focal point. But he's also a presence, and he also has the ability to bring players in. Players in the middle of the field can bump the ball into him, run off of him. He's a full striker. Obviously, had time with that first team earlier in this week against Chivas from Liga MX. He was extremely good in the way that he came on the bench. His impact felt. You can just see maybe a little bit of lost identity from Los Dos and not having that focal point in that 18-yard box.
Here's Christian Fletcher. He drops it back, an empty space for Diarra. Probably the best chance of the night, but he spikes it over the bar.
And it's a good run in from in to out from Fletcher, and then he has the composure to slow the game down, not hit it across, because if he hits it across, doesn't give the time for his teammates to come in and join the attack. Brings Neil on a little dance, cuts inside, and then hits a nice ball right across. And even Diarra, there's no really need to lunge at this. If you take an extra step, you have the contact, head over the ball, you're looking at a 1-0 lead for Loudoun United. But Fletcher's been really good in his movement and his support play as that lone striker for Ryan Martin.
Well, one area that Loudoun has given Galaxy fits on has been the overall speed. Zane. He was looking for the runner there from Diarra. 8 shots for Loudoun here tonight. Just 3 for Los Dos. Downs. Send it back. There has been a lot of this tonight when it looks like an attacking moment is about to break out. The team will retreat. Zamudio for Fletcher. Works well out of the back. Zane. Working against Lamb. Fletcher, who's just had that terrific pass. Downs. Simonson chips it. Greene the target. Out of his reach and out for a goal kick. A fairly clever night overall, though, for Loudoun. Just lacking that ability to finish inside of the box. Best of luck to the 17-year-old Abukara. He will be playing with the Egyptian U20 team in the U20 Arab Cup tomorrow for the championship. That one will come against Saudi Arabia. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. Lamb comes out wide. Gonzalez now on this side. Switching places with Dunbar. There's a Hard foul. Zane coming through the back. And he will pick up a yellow as well. Second yellow card given to Loudoun in this match.
There's just no need if you're Zane to come at this force. Campbell's facing the other way, away from your goal, not really threatening Zamudio. You come in through the back, that little left leg catching the inner ankle of Campbell. It's always going to be a foul. The lack of discipline, what Ryan Martin is talking about, the individual mistakes, especially so deep in your defensive half, just gives this Los Dos side another opportunity to whip this ball in where you haven't been the best on set pieces in your defensive duties. Poor decision there from Zane.
Davila will be over the top of it. California native will test this Loudoun defense again. There was an empty runner in the box. It was Campbell, unmarked, but skies it over the bar.
And he's going to want this one back, Campbell. Just find that soft spot, unmarked. Player around 5 yards in diameter. You're Ryan Martin, you're not going to be happy. You're also not going to be happy if you're Campbell. You know you should do better than that. You could do better. You just see how dangerous Los Dos is on set piece opportunities.
An hour into this one, no score so far. Only action pickup here in the final half hour. Gonzalez goes down. No foul whistle. 2 officials were in that area, the assistant and the leader, Alex Beeler. Neither spot anything. I'm Michael Watring, joined by Ricky Lopez-Espin and our entire crew. Glad you've spent part of your night with us. Stick around for the final half hour to see who can capture 3 points. Los Dos winless in the last 3. My 9th last win for the team, a 5-0 victory at San Diego. It's been 64 days since Loudoun last picked up a win. Losers of 5 of 6.
Needs to be a bit more movement in the front line from Los Dos. Moving together as Davila picks up his head. You just see so many players just standing there. It's so hard, so easy to defend if you're a back line when players are just next to you. If you have the player on the outside running in to the inside, inside running out, that's when you cause a bit of confusion. That's where you break down.
Neither side has made a change yet either. Near 2/3 of the way through this match. Not only is Preston Judd serving a suspension, so is Carlos Harvey. 2 games for actions in that San Antonio match. Key pieces to Los Dos' side. Loudoun, as always, a revolving door between first team call-ups and the youth that they have and some of the youngsters that are representing their countries. Loudoun has failed to score multiple goals. 17 of the 21 matches entering this. This has been par for the course, but a good break here. Diarra, Fletcher, Christian Fletcher stings the strings. Loudoun patiently builds and opens the scoring in the 64th minute.
And it's such a well-worked goal here from Loudoun United to break the deadlock. And it's that man praising him for his movement. That's that lone striker working tirelessly. good interchange here from outside to in, and again, it's Diarra. You just see his body position, hips open, that gives him the opportunity to pick out this run from Fletcher. Fletcher comes the back of Doyle. Not good communication from Loudoun. And talk about a composed finish from the youngster. First touch to set him up. Second touch, the back of the net to get his second on the year. Brilliant goal from the striker from Loudoun United. Well taken from Fletcher.
Second goal of the season for Fletcher. Scored 10 days ago against Birmingham. And we had been waiting for that all night long. And substitutions here brought to you by Segra as well. Callum Johnson and Axel Picasso are into the match, replacing Williams and Campbell. And those are our first changes of the night. About Loudoun United. Slow build. And Fletcher gets his second goal. First assist of the season for Diarra. And for Loudoun, 8 losses in 11 matches this year when they concede first on the season.
LA Galaxy 2 substitutions in the 64th minute. Exiting the match, number 52, Dante Campbell, and number 57, Greene.
Let's see how Galaxy responds.
Number 32, Callum Johnson, and number 38,
looking for a quick
Axel Picasso.
Lamb to the box, another crack at it. It is loose. Gonzalez gets his shot blocked. Davila back to the box, and Loudoun now just trying to defend. And it is crushed down the pitch. It's a good ball in. Johnson plays it through. Empty net. Zamudio! Huge save to keep Cabral out of the net and preserve the 1-0 lead.
You could just feel that this game is being played at a higher tempo. The fluidity has gone up a notch. Good run in from Johnson just to cut this back. And if you're Cabral, you're going to want this a bit too casual in the way that you approached it. On the other hand, if you're Loudoun United, what a big time save from that man right there. Zamudio coming across. Good bear claw to parry it away. But where's the defending? Cabral has time to have a cup of coffee, take a second touch, and put this ball in the back of the net. Fortunate enough for them, the keeper comes out on top.
Loudoun just needs possession now. After all that push from Loudoun. And we spoke with Ryan Martin about Zamudio. He said that Zamudio is getting the first run consistently in his career, tremendous with his feet, good shot stopper, as evident right there.
Give credit to Johnson since he's come on the field, just having the spatial whereabouts to cut this ball back time and time again. When a player gets to that position, they just hit a ball across blindlessly into a dangerous area, but he has the ability to pick up his head. And that's his back line from Loudoun United. Crashes towards the goal, as they should. It's a nightmare for defenses to have that soft spot right around that penalty area, because you don't know if your midfield line is joining your defensive efforts. Then they weren't at this time. But Cabral's going to want to put this one away. 4 goals on the year. You expect him to do better on that.
A big sequence over a couple-minute period. Zamudio getting really aggressive and slides it over. It is 1-0 Loudoun. Roughly 20 more minutes to go here at Segra Field. A Loudoun team that is winless in the last 6. June 18th was the team's last victory, and we'll get a change as well for the home side. Husu Landry is going to replace Garay. Landry, 21, replaces the teenager in Garay. Places youth. A round of applause here at Segra Field. All subs brought to you by Segra. And here in the 69th minute, a change made. First one for Loudoun in this match. Loudoun is one of 3 teams this season that have given up 20+ home goals. Only Atlanta and Charleston have given up more than the 23 on the home pitch than Loudoun's 23. They nearly gave up 1 and now have to see out the final 20. Gonzalez. Flag is up, and that is fortuitous because Zamudio didn't link up to it.
They have to be really careful now, Loudoun United. In their defensive efforts, you can see, lucky enough, and get caught. Gonzalez is a bit too eager in his running. They do work together, be it the defensive unit, step together. Saw earlier in that first half, they tried to do an off-try trap. Did not go to plan, and again, almost caught and punished for their disorganization. It's a good test again, like we highlighted in the open, Michael, just for Loudoun United. How do you close out games in a 1-0 lead? It's a learning opportunity, an opportunity to grow for these young players, and Ryan Martin's side.
Zane. Loudoun not content with just the 1. Diarra. Zane, not a lot of options as he waits. Flies it all the way back. Simonson. Simonson shot blocked. Doyle stepping up.
Again, you just see the difference on that goal. Diarra has the body positioning right. He played that ball in 2 touches. Ability to collect himself and then feed Fletcher. Here, Simonson has his body a bit too casual, too closed off. He lets the ball come across his body, takes that first touch out of his body, and he has a bit of a window to pull a trigger. Just those little things as you see the game more. We'll talk about, look, body control here. 1, right to the path to Fletcher, and then talk about another clean first touch from Fletcher. Really clinical in that finish and that run. Really good striker, lone striker play from the youngster, playing well above his years. Just those little things. You see Simonson takes 3 touches to try to get a shot off. Those little things that are going to push you to the next level, to create that window of space.
There's a lot of 16, 17-year-olds that are most concerned with their driver's test. Fletcher on the other side scoring big goals against Los Dos. Another opportunity nearly punched home by Gonzalez. Nifty movement. Picasio and Johnson have provided some good punch off of the bench. This time it was Axel Picasio.
And he's just so clever 1v1. A little step over, gets his defender off balance. Again, it's a close one from Gonzalez, just coming across, trying to have a little black heel. We give credit to Robinson. Saves the thing from like to like, making life extremely difficult for the striker. Now as Picasio comes into the right hand side in the midfield, it's going to push up Gonzalez to play a 2-man strike partnership for Johan Demes, trying to catch and draw even in this match for Los Dos.
As a young player, how difficult is it to play a full 90 minutes professionally like a lot of these players are doing so? Because we've seen both teams concede goals late in matches.
I think that's just a part of growing and having that focus to understand that minute 1 to minute 90 plus, whatever it may be, you need to be turned on at every single situation in this match. At this level, the talent level is so high, players can produce a bit of magic in a blink of an eye. If you give them the time and space, they'll hurt you. Just ask them last game against Monterey Bay, right? 90+4, Kone, while pinballs around, just sticks it to the back of the net. You see that with young players, so many goals are given up. They start with, whether it's a throw-in, whether it's a corner kick, because the players think, okay, this is the time to relax, to really get myself together. It's actually the opposite. These are the times that you want to dial up and turn on the focus and stay with your man mark and make it personal to not get beat in your individual battle.
Here's a good run. flown through. There's nobody for Los Dos making that run. Picasso back with it. And Husu Landry was the last man to touch it, and it's a corner kick coming up here for Los Dos.
And just see how fluid this game has become for Los Dos since the substitutions have came on. And this time it's Cabral playing in the pockets, and you have the willing runners around the edges. But again, just not on the same page inside that 18-yard box.
Fourth corner of the night for the Galaxy. This ball is pummeled to the back post, and a volley on the first try. Gets blocked and cleared. Shots, 10-7 overall. Each team with a shot on target. Loudoun's found the net thanks to Christian Fletcher. It was a great diving save from Luis Zamudio in the 66th minute to ensure that Los Dos didn't get one. But defending a big key now for Loudoun in the final quarter hour. And Zamudio will grab this ball here in the 75th minute. Time left to solve this one, but Loudoun looking to snap a 6-game drought between wins. Ricky Lopez Espin and Michael Watrang watching this one with you. Hoping you're having a pleasant evening. Well, we've spoken at length about standings, and as it sits right now, depending on what happens throughout the rest of the night, it could be a spot from being in the playoffs, potentially for Los Dos, to potentially falling all the way to 10th, depending on if Phoenix continues its dominance at home against Las Vegas later on this evening. Good news for the Galaxy is they got to head home for 4 of the next 5. And they've been much better at home, nearly 2 points per home match, one of the best in the West at defending the home turf. 6 wins and 10 tries. We'll get another Segra substitution. Hayden Sargis replaces Simonson, who provided a really good shift in the middle of the field and always gave Loudoun a bit of a sense that they could make something dangerous happen at any point, but he comes off here in the 77th minute.
And it's a defensive-minded substitution for Ryan Martin. Sargis is a player that really takes credit in its defensive abilities, but give credit to Simonson. Just gives him a different look when you push him down a line. You can saw time and time again his ability to break lines just through his dribbling, the way that he glides through players. In that attacking half, really started a lot of the movement going forward for Ryan Martin's side, so good shift from Simonson.
Flag goes up on Samake. One of the keys for any player to learn is how to handle time management in the waning moments. We'll see if Loudoun can prove that. Matchup that hasn't seen the most accurate of shot producing opportunities. Just 2 total shots on target after neither side had one in the opening 45 minutes. Our breakthrough came in minute 64.
Another substitution, and tactical substitution for Ryan Martin. As Sargis comes in, it's going to push up Nicky Downs up a line again. Going to really take that spot that Simonson had. Downs is going to play underneath Fletcher, and then it's going to be Husu. Sargis, that's a security blanket right in front of that back 4 for Loudoun United. On their hand, you just see it maybe looks like a front 3 for Johan de May with Picasso Gonzalez, and Cabral. You have these players coming in, joining the attack late. A lot of movement in that 18-yard box.
Gonzalez has a good pass to the middle, even better touch though. You can see the defensive shape right now for Loudoun. A team that just with 4 shutouts overall on the year. And 11 minutes away perhaps from adding to that list, but being asked to do a lot of defending now. And here's a goal kick, well defended. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of the USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home of the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Christian Fletcher's goal in the 64th minute is the difference maker in the match. Roughly half of the possession since that point has come in the defensive third, as Zamudio has just picked up a yellow card.
A yellow card has been issued in the 80th minute.
It's a third yellow given to a Loudoun player, Greene, Zane, and Zamudio. Here's a cross, looking for Picasio, but nodded out. Corner kick coming up for Los Dos. Lamb swings it. Loudoun wins that initial header. Los not retreating though. Not sure if that was supposed to be a pass or a shot, but it wasn't well hit.
Frustrating night from Cameron Dunbar so far. He has the ability to be a game changer. He has a great idea, trying to get his hips around, just rope it into a far post. It just falls off. He bounces right before he makes contact on it. Again, just the changes that Johan Demey has changed. Really, the complexion of this game has been far too many times Los Dos getting in behind Loudoun United in the defensive unit. So you're Ryan Martin, you want players in the middle of the park to really get on the ball a bit more. Your best defense is offense at this point. You want to take the ball out of the feet from Los Dos and into your hands. Keep playing into Fletcher, who's done really good at holding up play. And then from there, you have the ability to join the attack. And as far as you have the ball that's farther away from your goal, it's a better opportunity to walk away with all 3 points.
Jacob Greene called for a foul. Loudoun has had very little possession since scoring. Can the defense hold up? Club that had given up multiple goals in 7 straight prior to the gut-wrenching loss in stoppage time to Monterey Bay last week. Cabral makes the turn. And his pass not well hit, and Husu intercepts. Gives it right back. Doyle. Nearly another intercepted pass, can't be tamed. Picasso looking perhaps for a runner at the last second. Always wide, however, and a chance to waste a few moments here for Zamudio.
I think he just rushes that final product there. As an attacking player, when you have your defender retreating into the box, you have the advantage. There's a nice step over, but then if he takes an extra touch, maybe another extra touch, it throws off Samake. Brilliant work from Fletcher. That's what you want as your target man, to relieve some of the pressure that you've been under. That's not only through playing, but if you feel any contact, you go down, take some time off the clock, frustrate the players around. You can see cheeky smile from the 16-year-old. He knows what he's doing. It's been terrific so far for Ryan Martin's side.
Between the goal kick and that free kick, nearly a minute coming off of the clock. Loudoun will get some numbers forward on this occasion. Be more patient. With a 1-goal lead in hand, and they give it away, and that will not be received well by Ryan Martin. These are the moments that you need when you lead. Just give your defense a bit of a break. Zane, really good turn. Zane, good pass. Fletcher makes it 2-0. A brace for the 16-year-old. Loudoun on top by 2.
And again, it's just this left side for Ryan Martin's side. Samake, good pick out. Just to roll the ball into the path of Zane. And Zane takes his defender for a dance, gets a better body position for Neal. If Neal touches him, he goes down into PK. So he has to let him go, then has the composure just to put this ball into the path of Fletcher. If he hits it too hard, Fletcher has to take a second touch. Just rolls it, great weight on it. Then another clinical finish from that man right there to get his brace on the night. Talk about players, young players on the same page, playing above their age, the experience that they've had throughout this USL Championship season coming to fruition. The ball comes out to Samake. Zane understands there's going to be real estate, but there's going to be a real estate with this underlapping run. Ball in that breaks the line from Samake, and then the rest is history. Ball ends up in the back of the net. Ryan Martin has to be extremely pleased with that goal and the teamwork it took into that.
Well, just 1 goal for Fletcher entering the night. He puts together 2 in roughly a 20-minute window. And some changes as well for Loudoun, presented by Segra. It is Chandler Vaughn and Juan Calderon coming in, replacing Cabral and Davila. Now the question for Loudoun, can they see this one all the way out? Samake just clears it out. It is a corner kick coming, however. Well, after both goals that Loudoun have scored, they have immediately given up some good goal-scoring chances for Loudoun. Well, roughly 5 more minutes, some stoppage time to go here. Lamb, it finds Doyle. Doyle cannot pull one back. Slides it wide.
And if you're Johan de May, you're not going to want this ball to end up to a center back. Anyone else just pulls it far too wide. It's an opportunity that goes to the wayside from Doyle. You can just see the sigh of relief from the Loudoun United organization.
Well, Fletcher was a part of the U19 U.S. national team earlier this summer, and his maturation continues to grow. Just 16 years of age.
What were you doing when you were 16, Michael?
I don't even think I had my license yet. I was still riding a bicycle.
Was not scoring a brace in a professional league, that's for sure. That's not what I was doing.
You were probably tearing up your high schools.
No, no, no.
Well, Ryan Martin said that he is mature beyond his years. Here's a goal kick, and it is amazing. If you didn't attach a number to his age, perhaps by the look of his face, you might say, yeah, he's a young man, but the way that he plays the game, it does not feel like he is a 16-year-old. With the way that he has played this evening, has been in control of himself throughout the night, and a brace in this matchup.
Yes, the headlines are going to get the brace. But what's more importantly, more impressive about the way that he played is just the reading of situations. Whether he knows, okay, this time I need to hold it up. If I feel any contact, I'm going to go draw a foul like he did moments ago before his second goal. Or this game needs me to stretch this defensive unit. So let me run in behind. Well, that will do. Doyle needs to respect that, and that gives other players the space to operate. It's just that game of cat and mouse in that back line that he's been extremely good at, coming to feet, running behind, being able to mix it up. It's such a bright spot for Ryan Martin's side.
Well, as we've seen all season, there's still time left, but Los Dos needs a first goal here soon. Neal, Lamb, Doyle the target, heads it down, Zamudio picks and falls on it. Sounding like we'll get 3 minutes of stoppage time, and one of the biggest things that Ryan Martin said about Zamudio was the accountability you have to have as a goalkeeper. It's time perhaps for him to turn it on, and times can be casual and calm. But in a match like this, making the save that he made on Cabral in the 66th minute, that prevented Los Dos from tying the score. Maybe that's the confidence builder that he needs, and maybe that is what Loudoun needs as well to see out a clean sheet. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Callum Johnson on the ground. Last clean sheet that Loudoun had was June 8th against Red Bulls 2. That was a 1-0 victory on the home pitch. And a team that was maligned entering this one. Losers of 4 in a row, giving up 13 goals in that period. And scoring just 3 times leads 2-0. But they will have to defend another set piece. Thought it was interesting. Ryan Martin said that what he does sometimes is bring in local college kids to provide a good look during practice. Lamb prepares. Loudoun wins possession. Good slide tackle. Another substitution coming on. Ignacio Alem is going to replace Christian Fletcher. What a night it's been for this 16-year-old.
Just so clinical in and around that 18-yard box, that first touch and that first goal, and then this one, he takes first time to understand I don't need to put a lot of power through it. I just need to open my hits, make good contact, and put it to a spot that Lopez can't get it. Brilliant showing from the striker.
Another 16-year-old replaces him in Ignacio Alem. And with not much time left on the clock, an injury here requires some medical attention. Looks like Zane is down. Well, on a night like tonight, Ryan Martin has talked about the small wins that he's needed to have, be it text messages from former players. His former players scoring against the likes of Bayern Munich, but this evening, it has been a full performance by his unit that has led to a 2-0 lead with moments to go. And Zane, who still down. Here's another glance at it. It's actually Diarra that went down.
And just a bit awkwardly, as Johnson comes in from underneath him. It's that trailing left leg that gets caught maybe in the turf. You can obviously see he's in pain. Something you don't want to see if you're Ryan Martin. Jar was extremely good, extremely active, asking all sorts of questions of Los Dos in that back line. Had the freedom to start on the right-hand side, to start on the left-hand side, but also ended up in the middle of the field in pockets. Really question marks on the midfield line for Johan Demay's boys. The back line, do I pick him up? Do you pick him up? It's that gray area. It's such a value to have for Ryan Martin's side.
Sargis taken off of the ball. I wonder how much more time can be left. Maybe another 45 seconds or so. Foul whistled. And Loudoun can take ample time off the clock here. Well, Zamudio will come all the way out, and no question his job will be to kick it all the way down the field and try to keep it in play. Diarra is coming back into the match. This ball headed. Landry keeps it in. And then immediately will turn right back to the corner flag and hold it up. And gets called for the foul. And there's the final whistle as well. For the first time since June 18th, Loudoun picks up a win. Snaps a 4-game skid and downs Los Dos. The final tally, 2-0.
Talk about a response. Talk about a reaction from Ryan Martin's side. Obviously, it's a heartbreaker letting that goal in so late last time out, but not this time. Able to see this win through. 2 well-worked goals for Loudoun United and a well-deserved 3 points as they keep climbing up that Eastern Conference. If you're Johan Demay, opportunity that goes through your fingertips to keep pressing up to the playoffs. Just not clean enough in that final third, but what an opportunity and well-worked result for Loudoun United and Ryan Martin's side.
Christian Fletcher bags 2 goals, but perhaps the biggest moment of the night for Loudoun might have come on the defensive end. Luis Zamudio making himself big. Cabral seemingly had an empty net, but Zamudio with good pace to get over to his right. And that is tonight's save of the match, presented by Segra. That came about 90 seconds after Fletcher scored his first goal of 2. That kept it 1-0 in favor of Loudoun. So Zamudio sees out his 5th clean sheet of the season. It's the first win for Loudoun since June 18th. And Loudoun United takes it 2-0. Highlights coming up for you here as we wrap things up when we come back.
This is business today. Fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. At Segra, we'll help you navigate a complex future with state-of-the-art voice, internet, and data protection solutions. We know you have dreams, and we see your potential. Segra, freedom to grow.
Full-time score tonight brought to you by Segra, and it is Loudoun United getting 2 second-half goals by the 16-year-old Christian Fletcher, leading Loudoun United to its first win since June 18th when it took down Phoenix Rising 4-3 in this place. Unlike that matchup, it wasn't dramatic at the end. As we look at the full-time highlights, back with Ricky Lopez-Espin and Michael Watring. It started early. Jacob Greene had a wonderful chance. This ball nearly found an upper corner. It doesn't look like that on the first look through, but the second time around, look at how close that one was to banging the net. Fast forward to second half of action. Christian Fletcher, this was perhaps a little bit of foreshadowing. Delightful touch, great pass. Diarra hit it over the top of the net, and that kept it 0-0 at the time, but less than 10 minutes later, it was great passing. Diarra reversing course. This time it was his pass, setting up Fletcher, and the 16-year-old smoothly pocketed his second of the year.
And both of the goals from Loudoun United were textbook pattern play from outside to inside to the back of the net, and just the way that Fletcher was able to control himself and have that composure to find the back of the net.
Well, moments later, it looked like Los Dos was going to equalize. Cabral had a shot on the doorstep, 4 goals on the season, but denied here as Zamudio came up big.
And if this ball goes into the back of the net, this is a completely different game. That's what you want from your goalkeeper, to come up one asked upon, and what a timely big-time save that was from Zamudio. Go back down, the other hand, brilliant work from Zane. Gets a better body position. It's really cheeky. If you don't, as you can see, if Neil touches him, he goes down, just rolls his ball into the path of Fletcher. So clinical to get his brace on the night.
After defending for a good chunk of time, Zane's pass sets up Fletcher for his second. It was an accurate night. Loudoun only had 2 shots on target, but they took advantage of those opportunities. We knew that there would be talent. A team that started 5 teenagers. Loudoun United comes away with a win. Ricky, your final assessment of this match.
And I think Ryan Martin has to be extremely pleased just to see the response from week to week. And Loudoun United, when they went up, they never looked back and really closed out in this game in a mature fashion. If you're Johan Zame, an opportunity that goes through your fingertips to keep flirting around that playoff line. If you walk out of here empty-handed, you're not going to be happy. But again, a lot to build on for both of these squads.
Loudoun United picks up its first win since mid-June. After a slow start to this match that didn't see either team score or put a shot on target in the first 45 minutes, Christian Fletcher bags a brace, the first of his professional career, and Loudoun United snap a 6-match winless drought for our entire crew. My partner, Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Michael Watring, signing off. Loudoun wins it 2-0. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.